Hey guys. Um, so as promised, I said that I would be giving updates on Thursdays. So I don't have much. Um, I'm trying to remember where I put everything. Um, so as far as I don't remember what order. I think I covered Jazza first in the last video on Tuesday. Um, and there's been no real updates as far as I can see, as far as he goes or his wife as of yet. Um, I have not watched his newest video. He's playing something chameleon, mecha chameleon, mecha chameleon, something chameleon. Um, and I think he's playing it with his editor. I don't know. I know he did a tabletop time where he played it with. I think it was his editor. Um, but I don't know who he played it with this time. I haven't watched the new video. I just know that he was playing it again. Um, But as far as, like, his wife, unless he has an update in that video and I just haven't seen it yet, I haven't had time to. Um, Today was busy. So I'm a little bit sore. Um, it's been a bit of a day. And I don't know yet what tomorrow has planned. So probably going to be going to bed early just because I don't know what tomorrow has planned. Um, so with Jazza again, unless there's something in that video that I haven't had a chance to watch yet, I don't have any updates for him. I think after that we touched on either Perez or Hayden. Um, so Perez, same thing as before. Um, he's still hospitalized as of today. Um, and there is one small update. His mom filed for temporary custody of his three children, Mario, Mia, and I don't want to mispronounce that, but Mate, Mate, Mayette. Um, that was done. She filed for the temporary custody on August 7th. And Perez voluntarily consented to that request. So the children are going to be under her custody, under his mother's custody for now. And then I do have some updates for Hayden. So give me just a moment and then we'll get into like the Adam and Leash stuff. Because I think that was the other ones. Oh, and the Spence thing. So I haven't heard anything from Spence. I don't know if there's an update there. I mentioned the apology, I think, in Tuesday's video. I haven't seen anything about that in regards to that. If there has been a reaction by Paige Christie, I have not seen it yet. Again, today was very busy. Yesterday was a long, difficult video to get through. And it took me into the evening to get it done. Right now I'm recording at 9 p.m. and normally I would have a video up by now, so I'm sorry that it's been delayed again. Today was a long day and it doesn't even have anything to do with this video or any of the context. So yeah, it's just one of them things. So again, don't have anything on Spence. Don't really have any updates on Jazza. We just touched on Perez. So with Hayden, the here we go. So according to the police report obtained by Greenville News, she was found in Greenville, South Carolina, by the way. Her on and off again boyfriend, Brian Hickerson, and his brother, Zach Hickerson, are the ones that called 911. They were with her on scene as the emergency medical personnel attempted to perform life-saving methods for an extended amount of time. The officer reported first speaking with Zach, who told the police officer that Hayden was his brother's girlfriend. He was very emotional. This is quoted. as emergency medical personnel attempted to save Panettiere, while Brian, quote, did not become emotional, end quote, until medics declared that the actress was dead, according to the officer's report. Brian also showed police, quote, a bag of medication, end quote, that the actress was allegedly taking at the time. Other details in the report were redacted. They had been dating on and off again since 2018 in a tumultuous relationship marked by years of alleged physical abuse and multiple arrests for domestic violence. Hickerson pleaded no contest to 2 felony counts of injuring a spouse or girlfriend and was sentenced to 45 days in jail, 4 years of probation, and 52 domestic violence classes in 2021. In recent months, the pair fueled speculation that they had reconciled after being photographed together, and according to E! News, Panettiere and Hickerson reportedly traveled from Los Angeles to South Carolina together the day before Panettiere died. Her ex-fiancé, Ukrainian boxer Vladimir Klitschko, has spoken out on her death, saying the actress, quote, left this world far too soon, end quote. He says, quote, our family is going through a time of profound shock and grief, end quote. He wrote this in an Instagram post on August 18th, alongside a throwback photo of the 3 of them together smiling at the beach. The pair were on and off for a decade and got engaged in 2013. Panettiere gave birth to their daughter Kaya in 2014, but gave up custody to Klitschko in 2018 following her battle with postpartum depression and addiction. The 11-year-old now lives in Ukraine with her dad. Hayden was also a PETA supporter. Today, quote, today in tribute to Panettiere's life and legacy of compassion, PETA is sharing the ad and moving video, encouraging everyone to honor her memory by refusing to buy a ticket to any facility that condemns these remarkable animals to a concrete tank, the nonprofit said in a statement. And that is in regards to SeaWorld, where she stated, quote, imagine spending your entire life in a bathtub. That's what it's like for dolphins and whales in tiny tanks at marine amusement parks, end quote, Panettiere said while wearing a PETA t-shirt. Quote, we can end this, you and me, end quote. A cause of death has not yet been shared. On August 16th, at about 1:51 p.m., police officers and emergency medical personnel responded to a call from an acquaintance of Panettiere's reporting an unresponsive woman at an apartment complex in Greenville, South Carolina. And that was confirmed on August 17th. Upon arrival, medical assistance was administered, but the woman, later identified as Hayden Panettiere, was pronounced dead, according to police. They added that no foul play is suspected. Panettiere's cause of death is pending, with the Greenville County Coroner's Office telling USA Today on August 17th that it could take up to 3 months for her autopsy and toxicology reports to be completed. USA Today has requested a copy of the coroner's report when it is finished. On August 18th, the rep for the Greenville County Coroner's Office told TMZ that Panettiere's body was ready to be released to the family. So I anticipate there being a funeral, a wake and funeral viewing soon. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about anybody doing a vigil or anything like that. I saw somebody, now I don't know if this is like a stock video or not, but I saw on Instagram people leaving bouquets of flowers, but it doesn't say where. It doesn't say, like, it's just like in memory of Hayden Panettiere. And all of the roles that she played, like it listed all of the roles that she played through Bring It On and Heroes and a lot of different things. There's also some bits and pieces in here about her mother, who was estranged to her. Um, and if you guys want to know more about that, we can touch on that Tuesday if that's something that you guys are interested in. I thought it was rather interesting the way that she spoke about her daughter that has passed away. Um, so I will say that. But she's lost a son and a daughter, and that's what's jarring for me is the way that she spoke about her daughter who is now deceased. And it was an estranged relationship, so like she's gotten quite a bit of backlash. She got some from, oh, what is her name? Is it Gail? I cannot remember her name. I don't know if it's on here or not. Mm, no, I didn't save that. Dang it. Um, but Gail was the one that was Oprah's friend back in the day. I forget what Gail's last name is. And there were a couple of people that had really been like, you should be ashamed of yourself for how you spoke about your deceased daughter. They came for Hayden's mom hard. So if that's a topic you guys would like to discuss Tuesday, we can absolutely do that. Now, let me see how we are on time. About 10 minutes. Cool. Um, that being said, we've touched on Jazza, we've touched on Perez, we've touched on Hayden, we've touched on Spence. So all that's left really is Adam and Leash. Because yesterday we touched on Jen. We didn't touch on Jen, but like we talked about Jen. Um, also, I want to thank everybody that stuck around for the whole hour and a half that that video was. It meant a lot to see some of the comments that were left, the amount of grace and nuance and kindness that was expressed in the comments was very refreshing, and I'm just very grateful. Um, there were many times where I could have leaned into the worst parts of Jen in that video that I made, where I could have pinpointed specific things that would have painted her as a much more horrible person, but I think that that would have been taken too far out of context. Um, and I think that it would have lost its meaning, because at the end of the day, the one thing that I wanted to remain true and the one thing that I wanted to really focus on is the fact that regardless of the things that she has said and done, she's still a human. And it seemed that in the comments, a lot of people understood that and appreciated the take that I had, even being so close to the situation as it was happening. And I don't want to really ever paint someone as an absolute monster. Um, Adam has given grace at times when he didn't necessarily need to. Um, so yeah, I owe no one anything really. But I don't want to paint someone out to be a monster while I'm still sitting here saying I think that they are entitled to redemption and forgiveness if they are able to take accountability and learn. And again, like the end message was, I hope she heals. I hope she gets help. I hope she learns from this. I hope she finds something that brings her peace, and brings her some form of something, some form of purpose. And I think part of that too was she'd walked away from her job. She didn't have a purpose there, in the sense of like she didn't have a reason to wake up in the morning to go to a job because she didn't have it. Um, and while that was her own decision to leave, I understand the circumstances under which she left, and I would have left too. I left the job that I had in January for very similar reasons. And while I am not willing to go back to the same building, I am willing to still work for the company. Um, so the past, let's see, 7 months, it will be 7 months the end of this month, um, since I quit my job. Um, It might be since the 17th. I don't remember. It's either the 17th or the 20 something. I don't remember. Either way, it's been 7 months, or will be 7 months very soon. Um, it's been not great. Because normally I get seasonal depression. So from like November to February ish, the winter just really does a number on me. Um, I don't know why. It just does. It always has. Um, I think it's because I just cannot get outside. Like, I have so many cold weather injuries. I have injuries that are now like arthritic. Um, so getting outside, moving, staying active, being in the cold, it all just hurts, and it keeps you in the house, and it's kind of like COVID all over again. Um, and yeah, no, I don't like it. I feel very stuck and stuffy and like I can't do anything. I mean, of course, I can walk around my house, but it's not the same. And I didn't do still get out of bed even when, that's taking place, but I don't necessarily want to. It's mainly out of obligation um, during those months. But while I was working, I worked until January. So November, December, and parts of January, I had a purpose. And that was keeping the seasonal depression kind of at bay. It was sneaking in moments, but it wasn't kind of like monopolizing and completely isolating in that way, in the way that it would have been had I not had the job at the time. But now when I quit my job in January of this year, that February hit hard. It was like all of what was accumulating from November all the way to that point just hit me all at once that month. And so in that way, I can understand where Jen would have been mentally after leaving her job. This all happened, I think, around a few weeks after her leaving her job, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, something like that after her leaving her job. Um, and I could be wrong with that timeline. Don't quote me. Um, I want to say it was in July that she quit, which means that this would have been like 2, 3 weeks. I think. Again, don't quote me. It could have been June. I don't know. I wasn't keeping that close of an eye on things. You'll have to forgive me for that. But that's about how long it took me. It took about 2 to 3 weeks, and then I hit rock bottom. Um, and during those months, I wasn't posting anywhere. I wasn't posting on Facebook. I wasn't posting on Instagram. I wasn't posting on YouTube. I wasn't doing anything. I barely wanted to leave the house. I had to. I didn't want to. Um, and so knowing that it just took a few weeks for me to reach that point, looking at Jen, her reaching that few weeks mark, knowing that that could have potentially been her headspace as well, and then having everything else, the whole YouTube of it all, the drama of it all, the harassment, everything all just spiraling in and out of her control. Yeah, I could absolutely understand where she was at mentally. And that's why I have continued to give her some grace. I don't have to enable her. I don't have to endorse her behavior, but I can say she didn't deserve some of what she got. She didn't deserve harassment, name calling, and insults. And I can also say that I'm going to disagree when people say that she's irredeemable. I'm just going to. That's just who I am. I don't think that anybody is irredeemable. Well, with exceptions. There are some people that there's PDF files, child, anybody that does those sort of things are worders, period, point blank, irredeemable in my book. In my book. Um, yeah. Things that are along those veins, yeah, that's irredeemable to me. Sorry. If you have a problem with it, with me saying that, then I'm sorry to say that I'm going to assume that you probably fit into one of those boxes. Because I don't think anybody should have a problem with a PDF file being irredeemable. Sorry. I don't take that lightly. So, um, Jen hasn't done that. Jen was accused of doing that falsely. She didn't deserve that. She did some horrible things, but I don't think she's irredeemable. So, with Hello Leash, oh, I have an eyelash, I think, trying to curl into my eyeball. Either that or I have sheetrock dust still trying to get into my eyeball. Sheetrock dust. Yay. Um, I'm crying quite tears. I sanded sheetrock today. I got to work out. Um, my arm hurts. Well, this one mainly, as I'm right-handed. This is your left, I think, and but it's my right. This is my right hand. Probably gonna be left on your screen. Um, but yeah, that shoulder ain't it. That shoulder ain't having it. Um, and the arm itself. I mean, I've got tiny baby muscles. Um, it's just it. I don't go to the gym. I can't afford a gym membership. Okay, I don't have weights. So like working was my workout, and I've been out of work for 7 months. So I got a free workout today. That's how we're going to put that. I got a free workout today. But anywho, in the vein of Hello Leash, I haven't been home for most of the day, to be fair. I am going to take a quick browse on the YouTubes and see if there is anything new because I've unsubscribed from her because I really just could not be bothered. Um, After the video I made, I was like, yeah, no, I don't care. um, I don't care to hear what you have to say anymore. I'm done. Um, let's see if there's anything else. No. So 6 days ago, addressing my secret friendship with Cody Tyler is still the most relevant video. Let's see if she's made any posts. 8 days ago, which was I think it was the same one that I reacted to. Yeah, it was the one that has the cursive at the end. Um, so yeah, nothing new from Leash, I don't think. Oh, wait, maybe there's a short. Hang on. When was this posted? Oh no. Okay, it's not old, but it's not new either. She gone live recently? No. So nothing new with Leash. As of YouTube, let's go to Instagram because she loves to post on Instagram. Um, yep, nope, nothing there. Nothing new that I can see. Oh well, wait, I say that. Okay, so she reshared somebody else's. Okay, so nothing relevant. She had a 3 reels, but it's nothing relevant. Um, Nothing that has to do with any of the stuff that's been going on. So no updates on Leash. Guess it's a good thing. I don't know. As far as Adam, God, part of me is just like, dude, please stop. And then part of me is like, I remember when the whole Colleen thing took place. Like if you go back to my previous live streams, I reacted to Papa Gut reacting to I think his old video about the Colleen situation, and he was still getting shit wrong. I actually went back and I was like, I know I covered this Colleen situation. Where is it? And I thought it was in my videos. It's not in my videos. It's in my lives. There's 2 videos in my lives. I did more live streams than that, but it doesn't necessarily fit my channel anymore, and so I wiped it away and was just like, "Yeah, no, you don't fit in the niche of things that I want to potentially even continue doing anymore." I'm so glad that I left the Colleen live streams up because y'all can see my initial stance right then and there of how I felt about Adam in that moment, and it was 3 years ago that I made those 2 live streams. There's a part 1 and a part 2. Um, and I didn't watch them in full. I think the end of part 1 was me going and making something to eat, and then I made a part 2. Um, I don't know why it won't show the live chat replay. Like, I was speaking with someone and I could not see the live chat replay. That irritated me. Um, but either way, the video is still up. It's on my lives. Um, and so like people that are just like, "Oh, you need to educate yourself on the Colleen situation." I covered it before I ever thought to be a drama tea channel ever at all. I covered it. I didn't cover all of it but I was already educated and informed, and that was why I was reacting to Papa Gut, and that's how I know that he got some stuff wrong. Um, I mean, I watched a glimpse of it last night, which was me sitting there coming out, and I called her Colleen Behringer. That was a Freudian slip. I don't know. I called her Colleen Ballinger for a while, and then it switched to Colleen Behringer, and I don't know how that happened. Um, it just did. But I was sitting there calling out like, well, Cody did this, and the fact that 3 years ago I was in this so deep. I was into this Traumageddon shit so deep, which I think that's what it was called at the time. That I was naming. I was like, oh, like Cody is the one that leaked all of this stuff, and she never handed a daggone thing to Adam. She didn't let Adam choose nothing. Like she could have handed this to him instead of like leaking this information, and she's the one that decided to do it because it benefited her. And I was like, oh, I was clocking it. I was like, oh, look at me go. I was so surprised by myself. Um, like it's amazing going back 3 years ago and being like, no, yeah, I stand by that. So I'm glad. I'm glad that I covered it that well. I was what, like 33 at the time? Yeah. So I was 33 at the time, and my stance has not changed. Like that was messed up. Um, I watched it just to see like how did I cover this? Was I on Papa Gut's side? Because I can't see myself being on Papa Gut's side. I listened to myself and I'm like, no, good, okay. I was clocking shit. I was calling it out. Cool, awesome, love that. Um, because everybody's like, you should educate yourself. I'm like, no, 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 I did. It's right here. It's right here. So if you guys think that for any reason at all whatsoever, that I was not informed at the time of the whole Colleen situation, please go watch those two past live streams because I was clocking shit for filth. Okay, um, not to brag, I was in it. I wasn't even trying to be that deep in it, but I was in it. Um, like I don't think I cover anything today as deeply as I covered that. Period. Like maybe the gen dent of it all. Maybe the Patreon chat. But I don't think I've covered anything to the extent that I was covering Adam at that time. Um and what really irritated me, see this is the thing. I will always, 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 always advocate for a child. Adam was a freaking child. These are what? Children. Is Adam a child now? No, but I advocated when it mattered. And I advocated for a child who was being exploited, which actually were my words. I even, which I had forgotten about. Adam mentioned it, I think, in a live stream or like one of the videos he uploaded, which he does live streams and then he clips it and he uploads it. But anywho, he mentioned at one point that like he was this, some of this was very different because he was Colleen's assistant. And I was just like, yeah, no, like, what? In that moment, I was like, wait, what? But I go back and I listen and I watched my video and I was like, oh, apparently I knew about this. Oh, I knew about this 3 years ago. Because I was sitting here talking about like 16, 17-year-old Adam posting on Colleen's Twitter. And I was like, I am re educating myself. Hello. um, so, like, yeah, there's absolutely parts where 3 years have passed and I've forgotten some of the details, but there are definitely parts, like the main parts, Colleen being a groomer, Colleen taking advantage of Adam, Cody being the whistleblower. I remember those parts. Cody being like around Corey and Colleen and to an extent egging the shit on. Yeah, I remember those parts. I remember the fanfic. Um, so like, yeah, there were small details that I had forgotten over the past 3 years, but I went and watched those two lives, bits and pieces of those two lives, and I was like, oh, I was on it. But now that being said, while I do still hold the stance that Adam was in the right to come forward and that Cody should have done better and that Cody did do horrible things back in 2023. I don't need to educate myself. Okay. I, I'm telling y'all, go watch my live stream. I don't need to educate myself. If I'm going to educate myself, I'm going to educate myself by my own video because I've touched on the things that everybody's just like, you should be aware of this. You should make yourself aware of this. I did. I did. I said it 3 years ago. I stand by it today. Okay. That's not me being angry with y'all. It's just like, I did. I swear I did. Um, and I know a lot of y'all are very new. A lot of y'all are very, very freshly new. Within the past 2 weeks, some of y'all have come come to my channel and made a comment and being like, you should know more about this and you should educate yourself here and educate yourself there. And I'm not speaking directly to you. I'm just basically saying, like, I did. I know more about the situation than I care to know. And part of me hates that because part of me wishes I could lean on the oopsies, I'm ignorant, but I can't because I did know. I followed it very closely back in 2023. Like I said, I made the 2 lives. Um, so yeah. But in regards to him today, in regards to Adam today, I stand by me saying, like, dude, just please stop. Because right now, this is giving maybe that's what he's doing. To give the benefit of the doubt, maybe that's what he's doing because Jen at one point said Adam and his infinite wisdom. Sarcastic, snide, yes. But now it seems like he's marketing that because he's making these almost like, what was it called? Was it Ask Abby? Dear Abby? It's kind of like Dear Abby. He's doing these voicemail things where he will hear a mucker's voicemail or just somebody who's coming in and asking, like, what would you do in this situation? He's giving them advice. And it's just like, I. They're asking for his advice, but at the same time, it's disheartening to me because that feels very parasocial to me. Like that's a level we already have him in what is the equivalent of a group chat by being in his live chat. So he's making like snide remarks. He's calling hello leech intentionally and getting his fans to pile on. Um and they are. And he's basically like I've attended a couple of his live streams and while the stream isn't rolling for what's going to be put on YouTube, he is saying some off the wall stuff. I implore you, if you are not a fan of Adam, go watch his live streams. If you're just like a lurker and you're like, I agree with Adam, but I don't watch him, go watch his live streams. Go watch it all the way through. Because while the camera's not rolling, while he's just streaming and listening to music and talking to the muckers, there's some stuff like there's a reason it's on his Twitch and not on YouTube. There's a reason he doesn't put that part on YouTube. Because some of the things he says are really not great. That and copyrighted music. Um, but like he will sit there and laugh. He will make jokes about people and then sit there and laugh. And it's very disheartening for me to see Adam, who I defended, who I stood by in a sense when it came to the Colleen situation, sit there and treat people or talk about people in that way. And it reminds me of the whole Kendra situation where he was playing nice in her face and then talking shit about her on his channel. I can't watch his live streams. I went to one and I was like, I don't have the energy for this. I don't have the mental capacity for this. And I damn sure like I can't do this whole sidebar of ridiculing someone and picking someone apart and reading them for filth in this way. I just can't. Um, and so, like, in that vein, that's disheartening. And the other part of that is seeing that firsthand, seeing his live stream firsthand, then him having the whole voicemail thing to where he can talk to his muckers through the live streams and in videos and such, where they can call in for advice. That seems too close for comfort. It feels, I don't want to say the word wrong. It just feels weird. It feels inappropriate. It feels strange. It feels uncomfortable. It feels unsettling. I wouldn't say it feels gross just yet, but I tuned into the first one that he uploaded on YouTube, and there was a girl talking about her and her boyfriend broke up. Her and her ex broke up. She's living with a new boyfriend. The guy has a new girlfriend, and they had a cat together. They were together for, I think, 7 months or 7 years or something like that. I can't remember. They got a cat together. And now she's like, what do I do? I want to keep the cat, but like he doesn't want to not have communication. I feel like he's trying to well, stay in contact with me. I feel like he's trying to use the cat as a conversation chip. And they're asking Adam like, "What do I do?" And Adam was just like, "Well, like have a conversation with him, see if he's willing to let you keep the cat, and if he's not willing to let you keep the cat, if you want to just be done with it and close the conversation, let him keep the cat." And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, "Bro," and I know because that one was messy. That one was a hard one for him. He was just like, "Ooh, ooh, I don't know, like, okay, this." And then, like, some of the muckers were like, "But she said she wanted to keep the cat, and she just wanted to, like, leave him on red." And he was like, "Yeah," he was like, "You could do that. I mean, this is a messy one. This is hard. Like, do whatever you think is best." And I'm like, that's not really advice, but okay. But on top of that, like, what happens when there's an even harder conversation? What happens when, because he's grown now, what happens when it turns into more relationship based conversations? What happens when it becomes, I'm poor and I'm broke and I can't find a job kind of conversation? Like, where do you draw the line? How do you pick the voicemails? Like, is he screening them before he's recording them? It's part of me is concerned for him and part of me is concerned for his audience because that can be very dangerous. Because if someone takes your advice and then it blows up in their face, then that can ruin your relationship with that person. Even if it is just through a screen, that can ruin your credibility in people's eyes, especially when they are young, impressionable, and black and white ways of thinking. Um, so that's very, to me, dangerous territory to tread on. Um, so that's my concerns so far with Adam as that stands. I will say somebody commented on my last video, I believe. I don't know if it was, oh, I don't want to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze. Please don't let me sneeze. I have sheetrock dust everywhere. Well, had, but it's still in some places. Ugh. Also, no, I'm not going bald. I'm naturally blonde, and I need to dye my hair again. Uh, that's what that is. Uh, okay. Let me double check and see which video it was, because now I'm curious, because I don't know if it was my last video or if it was the most recent, or like the most recent one, or if it was the Leash one, or if it was the one where I was talking about everyone. Okay, so it was the most recent one. It was the Gen Dent video. Um, and this person had made a comment. Excuse me. Um, so this is what they said, and I'm not going to quote the whole comment, but this is what they said. Bullying people socially is a pretty standard behavior at that age. These people are strangers and they are like so young, meaning Adam's audience. And while I can agree with a majority of the sentiment that was in the entire comment, because again, I'm not going to read the whole comment here, while I can agree with a majority of the sentiment within that comment, I think that if we say, well, they're so young, it's kind of understood that they're going to be this way. It's to me, this is how I feel personally. So take this with a grain of salt. But for me, I feel like that is carrying a little bit too much of boys will be boys mentality. Um, because I think once you reach a certain age, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you by that point you know right and wrong. By that point you should know better than to just be a bully for the sake of being a bully. And I have seen, not that I interact with them intentionally, but Prince is a great example. Prince is an excellent example. He just turned 18. He carries himself very well. Um, he's very graceful, he's very kind, he's very forgiving, he's very eloquent. And I'm not saying the whole like he's mature for his age, because that's weird, even if he is of legal age. But he has, like, even Adam has reacted to what Prince has said and was like, oh my gosh, this is so well worded for someone who is 17, 18 years old. That's very true. It's very true. The new generation, the generation that is right now, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, some of them are so very well versed in the world. They have been around technology for a very long time. They're very well worded. They're very well at expressing their wants, their needs, how they feel about a situation. They're very good at either looking at things black and white or being nuanced. They have both capabilities, both capacities, and they're very good at doing either one of those. Um, but to say that apparently Brain has opinions, even though it's bedtime. Um, where somebody said like let her speak. She's a budgie, aka a parakeet. Only males can learn how to speak. As far as parakeets go, she's a female, so she won't speak. Like I can absolutely interview her, um, and let her just chirp along. But like that's gonna be her opinions. It's just chirps. I just wanted to make that clear in case you thought like she's a parrot or something that can actually speak. She cannot. Um, she just she just squawks. She's mad I'm talking shit. I'm sorry, Brain. It's true. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Um, she calmed down. She's like, it's okay. She calmed down a little tweets instead of squawks. But no, I think if we continue to excuse the behavior, that can very easily turn into enabling that behavior. I don't want, let me put it this way. If I had a child who was 18, 19, 20 years old, or up to Adam's age, I think he's between 21 and 23. If I had a child that was within that age range, which I kind of do, they kind of adopted me, but either way, I would not want to encourage behavior that they could then hide behind and say, well, that's what's expected for my age. I'm young. Like I'm still a baby. And I think that Adam has been infantilized a lot because of the Colleen situation, and I don't think it's doing his audience or him any favors to let them off the hook because they're so young, because they to give them the excuse that they don't know better or it's expected of them because of their age or that's just how they are online. I don't think giving them that excuse to be able to hold on to and use as a crutch is fair. I think that does them a disservice. I think it does Adam a disservice, um, to say things along that vein. And we can disagree. We can absolutely disagree. If that's how you feel, your comment and everything, if you stand by that, then by all means. But I am letting you know, like, I don't feel that way. Um, I think that it can do more harm than good. Um, I was, for reference, you mentioned the person that commented. You mentioned you're in your 40s. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my late 30s. Um, and I would not want to raise my child with the mindset of it's okay, you're young. It's okay to do whatever is going on socially on social media because you're young. Like, no, that has real consequences. Doxing someone, like, the problem is it can turn into very serious things as they continue to get older. So if they're 17 now, if they're 16, 17 now, and they can hide behind the I'm still a minor, they can continue that behavior into 18, 19 years old. They can start doxing people, think it's okay, and be like, well, I was young. I was impressionable. My brain isn't fully developed yet. I'm not 25. And that's not an excuse for that kind of behavior. It's just not. I've seen very many teenage kids, like my friends have teenage kids, absolutely respectful. Will advocate for the underdog. Absolutely advocate for the underdog. We'll go to bat for that underdog. And they don't have to bully someone to do it. Now the military will break it out of you. Let me tell you, because there were quite a few that were 18 that had that mindset that just wanted to troll and be class clowns. They had that class clown mindset, and oh, believe me, they got it broke out of them in basic. You either got smart or you got strong. Some of us got both. So, yeah, I have higher expectations for this generation because they were handed more than my generation ever was. They were given more opportunities. They were handed more opportunities. Their lives were made at least a little bit easier already. I would expect more, especially the way that Adam talks in his videos on YouTube, how he is always saying, like, don't go harass this creator. Don't go instigate trouble. Don't go do this. Don't go do that. As much as he advocates for that, yeah, I would absolutely expect better from his community. I don't think that it's outside of the realm of possibility to expect better. I've seen some of his community be absolutely amazing people. Absolutely amazing. Kind, generous, nuanced. Absolutely amazing. And I've seen some of them be downright horrible. I don't think that giving them the they're so young excuse or giving them that as something that they can grab and be like, yeah, I'm so young. See, I don't think giving them that, while I understand it probably came from a place of giving them grace and giving them the benefit of the doubt, I don't think it's fair because it can turn into enabling, endorsing, and reinforcing that negative behavior. And this is a time where their minds are still impressionable. This is the moments where they have to learn. This is the learning point. So no, if we're not affording an older person the excuse of, well, they were born in a different time and humor was different back in those days, which has been the excuse of many in past scandals, if we're not giving them the excuse of, well, it was different back then I don't think we should be giving teenagers and almost adults the excuse of, well, they're young. They already know the difference between right and wrong. They can be a decent human. Common decency isn't hard. Kindness is not hard. Challenging at times, sometimes, yes, but it's not hard. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Um, that was a little bit of a rant there at the end. But dang it, I don't like the excuses. I didn't get a chance to make any excuses. I didn't get a chance to sit there and be like, "Well, I was young." This is not an excuse. You know what's going to happen with a police officer? This is something that I have seen circulating around online in the past couple years. Ignorance is not an excuse for breaking the law. You can't say, "I didn't know the law," and break it. Ignorance is not an excuse. So if you're going 55 and a 35, oh, I didn't see the speed limit sign. It's not an excuse. You were still speeding. Too bad, so sad. Same kind of applies here. Just because you're young isn't an excuse to be cruel. So that's where I'm going to leave you guys. I hope you guys take care of yourselves. I hope you guys stay safe. I hope that we continue to have constructive conversations. I love, by the way, getting comments. Genuinely, I love getting comments that are challenging in a way. That they're just like, I disagree with this point over here, but I want to talk about this point. I'm like, okay, we can do that. I really love those comments. I genuinely do. I love the comments that provoke a discussion. You, you guys have no idea. You guys have no idea. Um, and I won't always like shout out ones on here or point them out. If I think it's relevant, I will, but not always. But I do want to let you guys know that I do greatly appreciate them. And we are 4 subscribers away. Let me hold on. Let me just double check, make sure that I'm still right. Just bear with me just a second. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. Are we 4 or 3? We are 4. Okay. We are 4 subscribers away from reaching 150. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm very happy. I have been building this channel for years. Literally. Uh, I remember if you guys go look at my shorts, you will see how overjoyed I was when I hit 100 subscribers, and you'll probably be able to see how long ago that was. I am so overjoyed to be so close. We're like that close to 150. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Please, please, people, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you guys. Also, thank you for sticking around. Some of you are loyal subscribers. Y'all have been here since the beginning. Thank you. Love you. Um, I cannot say that enough. Like literally, thank you and I love you. Y'all have been here for a very long time, a very long ride, and I'm sorry that it has taken this long to get here. Um, but oh my gosh, we are so close to 150. If you guys could do me the biggest favor and get us to 150 super soon. I already have a plan. If y'all could get us to like 150 by the 31st, when we have our music Monday. If you can get us to 150 by then, I have a surprise for you guys. I already have a little plan rolling around in my head. I think it's going to be really cool. And the video itself, like for that, isn't going to be too long. So it'll probably be posted on Wednesday, actually. Because that Monday we'll start our Music and Mayhem Monday. Then we'll have Tea Time Tuesday, and then Wednesday is a free for all. So we're probably going to do the celebration that Wednesday if we can get to 150 by the 31st. And I think we can do it. I believe in you guys. So share this video around, share any of the videos around, share the channel around, and get it out there, and let's see what happens. I think we can do it. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for sticking around in this video. If you liked it, give it a like, hit that thumbs up, and hit the notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of all future uploads. I have a whole series of shit coming. These are all oddballs. Like, all of these this week are just oddballs. All of them. They're getting into the rhythm of what's going to be coming, but they're all kind of oddballs. They're just sprinklings. If I have the time tomorrow, I am going to make another video. It's the one that I have been trying to make since, I think, June. It's coming. If I have the time tomorrow. If I don't have the time, it may come the following Monday. I know that that's like, these next 2 weeks are kind of a mess, okay? Like, until the 31st, it's going to be kind of a mess. So it may come Monday. It may be a Wednesday video, kind of like this one was. I don't know. It just depends on what the time constraints look like. What else is there? Let's see. Give this video a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified. Is there anything else? Share this video if you liked it. And by all means, share any of the rest of my videos too. If you guys haven't been watching my shorts, go watch my shorts. What are you doing? Also, if you guys have not seen my previous content, if you guys like gaming, there's a whole like slew of where I did horror gaming. If you guys are into that. And go check out my lives, because like I said, I stood by the whole Adam thing. Those are the 2 lives that are still up. If you guys like, especially if you're one of the people that's just been like, hey, educate yourself on the Colleen situation, go check out the lives. Tell me what you think. Shoot. And yeah, share this channel around. There's all kinds of stuff here. All kinds. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.